Well, today we're smoking a pork butt on the new Konnected Joe, and I know there's tons of questions and perceptions that with all the technology with the Konnected Joe, it doesn't have the basic features of cooking in its classic mode that you're used to. So today we're going to show you the classic mode of utilizing this Konnected Joe as a standard KJ that you know and love, smoking a pork butt, but also utilizing one feature called the automatic fire starter, which you don't have to use even in classic mode. Stick around and we'll get right into all the details. Hey team, it's Scott from Bartlow's Barbecue, and we are going to go ahead and prepare this pork butt. And I salt brined this last night. I scored the fat cap. We didn't take too much fat off of it, and I just want to use it just as is. We're going to be using oil as a binder, a house rub that I put together. I'll put a link in the description of what I did there if that's something you're interested in. And also, just to make note, I'll be launching my first barbecue rub in May. Stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to the channel for your chance to check that out. And I'll be doing some giveaways related to that. So very excited about that coming up as well. So we're gonna oil this up, start seasoning it. And you want to do it liberally because this is a big cut of meat. Hey team, it's Scott from Bartlow's Barbecue, and I'm doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. Once I hit that milestone here on YouTube, and I'm halfway there, we'll be giving away a Kamado Joe, a solo stove, and a few other things. It's gonna be a huge giveaway. So I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and turn on notifications so you don't miss this big giveaway. And I appreciate you subscribing and supporting the channel as we grow together. We learn together how to do backyard barbecue on Kamado Joes and different grills. Would love your support to share this, and thank you so much for watching. Team, we're gonna fire up the Konnected Joe, and I wanna show you a few things in the inside. You're gonna notice that we've got leftover charcoal in here. I've got my divide and conquer system already in place. Here on the bottom is the heating coil element with holes in it. And you're gonna notice holes all around it and also in the center. And this is where you will find all the ash dumps in there so that you can go dump it out in your ash tray. And there's been tons of questions about how that works. I would say after a handful of cooks, if you want to vacuum it out, you could, like the pellet Joe, but it's not necessarily needed, as I've been using this for 7 or 8 cooks now. And for the most part, all the ash is dumping right through, but it does definitely help to use your ash tool and your charcoal tool to kind of get things loose around the firebox. So now what we're gonna do is load up our wood chunks, which is gonna be pecan wood. This is very popular where I'm from in Oklahoma, so I like using that. You could also use post oak, whatever wood chunk might be available in your region. And then we're gonna fill it up with lump charcoal from KJ Big Block, and then we will get this thing fired up. All right team, it's time to fire it up. Now that we got the lump charcoal and wood chunks placed in here, it's at this point you could use your favorite fire starter, your fire torch to light this bad boy up and still control the top and bottom vents and have manual control like you're typically love to do. But if you also want to utilize the best of both worlds, all you got to do is power this on and push this fire start button until it turns red. Now it's going to light up. You can leave the dome open and the bottom vent open until you see that the fire is lit, or you could go ahead and lower the dome at this point if you'd like, either way, and open up your top vent, or even take the lid off until you get to your desired temperature, typically 50 degrees before you hit your desired temperature. And today we're aiming for 275 and 300 to smoke this pork butt. We loaded up our heat deflectors, our accessory rack, and now we're gonna put our drip pan. I like to foil it to kind of make cleanup a lot easier. Then we've got your grill grates. And now it's time to get this thing heated up. Hey team, I've loaded up the pork butt here on the Konnected Joe. I'm using the pit probe that it came with. We'll utilize the app to monitor the temperatures and also utilize that graph and see how this performs. Again, 275 to 300, and we're gonna let this smoke and ride for a few hours, and then we'll begin spritzing with apple cider vinegar, and then we'll take this until we get a nice bark on it before we do a foil boat, and then just let it ride until it's probe tender. We've been letting this smoke for 2 hours. I opened up the dome and I saw that we got great rub set to the pork butt. Now it's dry. It's time to apply some apple cider vinegar spritz to keep it moist and help us begin to build that bark formation. And once we see that 170, 180, and really good color on bark formation, we'll foil boat this to allow us to hit through and smoke through the stall, and then we'll just let it ride until it's probe tender and then let it rest. So I'll see you back here in a moment whenever it's time to foil boat it. All right, friends, we're foil boating and we're just gonna wrap this literally like a boat around it. Not a perfect boat, but it does the job. All right, friends, we have hit probe tenderness, and you can kind of see that here going right through just like butter. Now we're going to take extra foil and we're going to wrap it on top, and then we're going to wrap it in a towel, put it in a Cambro, let it rest for an hour, and then we'll get to slicing and do a final taste test. I've got the package. All right, friends, we have finished up this cook and we've let it rest, and look at that bark. Amazing. And now we're gonna start shredding it just like this. So good. My friends, bring you back after we're done shredding and go from there for a final taste test. Well, there you have it. It's time to do a final taste test. Let's do it. Oh yeah. Makes me want to go back for more. Well, man, I am tasting the flavors in that pork butt. Just the uniqueness of that rub that we put together, a little brown sugar, some sweetness, a little kick to it, and yet also that subtle smoky flavor of pecan wood. I'm picking up all of those flavors on this pork butt, and the Konnected Joe performed so steady, 300 solid for 8 hours, and then we rested this for over an hour, and it was just tender and juicy. Super happy how this turned out on the Konnected Joe. Now, I've done about 8 cooks on this, doing reverse searing steaks. I've done some chuck roast, I've done some pork chops and some things, and this was my first long smoke. I'll be doing brisket hopefully next. Put in the comments, let me know other things that you want to see the Konnected Joe do, like reverse searing a steak or a longer cook. If there's something you want me to test, let me know in the comments. But overall, super satisfied with how the Konnected Joe performed. If you've ever had questions, if you can just operate this like a classic Kamado, you can. And you can also utilize the features, the digital features. And so I'll throw up the little chart of our temperature on the screen and see how we did here. But overall, it tracked and we stayed 300 degrees for the most part throughout the whole cook. It was super steady. We amplified and went through the stall by putting the foil boat around it as well, and that got us through until it was probe tender. So overall, it was a great cook. So let me know in the comments what you thought of it and the questions that you might have about this pork butt, or more specifically, the Konnected Joe. From my backyard to yours, less hate, more love, good barbecue. Until next time.